Herritarrek urrun sentitzen dute sistema politikoa. Gizartearen eta erakundeen arteko distantzia handitzen ari da. Haustura edo urruntze hori aprobetxatzen ari dira muturreko mugimenduak, populismo xenofoboak, elkarrizketa demokratikoan eta giza eskubidetan sinisten ez dutenak. Mundu osoan ikus dezakegun joera da hori. Gure herria ere ez dago arrisku honetatik libre.
I think this idea that we need to focus on insecurity is an important one. As we have evolved democratically, security has to mean every person's security, right? Your security, my security for food, my security for water, my security for climate, my security from COVID, right? People are now focused on their security. Much more important than security, I think, is insecurity. And why I say that is, when things are okay, we never think about security. But suddenly a war starts in Ukraine. Now we are unsafe, we feel insecure. That's when we think about it. Suddenly COVID comes. Now we are insecure. We wear a mask, we don't know where to go, how to do things. Because the question is, are you safe? Is your environment comfortable?
Yo dejo de trabajar con 26 años cuando empiezo a formar una familia. Cuando me separo a los 41, y claro, la carga es más importante, me hicieron sentir que no servía, que solo servía para una cosa, para ser ama de casa. Me desconectaba, con muchos miedos también. Mi casa era mi cárcel. Yo solo vivía para mis hijos, mi casa. O sea, yo solo lloraba.
And that is what we need to focus. So two things here. One, human security. Two, focus on insecurity. And what that means is the way to be secure is not to be insecure. And therefore, rather than waiting for something bad to happen, a focus on insecurity means we try everything in policy, everything in politics to make sure that bad things don't happen.
Nunca tienes que perder la esperanza. La gente siempre te irá para adelante y un día estarás muy bien.
The biggest challenge of democracy everywhere in the world is trust. Citizens around the world have learned not to trust politics. That is unfortunate, and it's our own fault, right? We have trained them. We come and we say, don't trust anyone else except me. If every politician is saying that, very soon we as citizens learn that we should trust no one.
Yo nací en Extremadura, en la Higuera de la Serena, pero me he criado en Mondragón, Arrasate. Yo estaba en la calle, 54 tengo, una edad considerable. No me veía yo trabajando con la edad esta ya, más como está el tema. Mucha gente en paro, la pandemia, ¿no?
Politics is not bad. Politics is one of the most beautiful things in the world. Politics is how democracy happens. Politics is how I get voice. And yet we have turned politics into a dirty word. Right? And that's what I call unpolitics. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. And that is the reason for collaborative. The logic is that the problems we have are collective, therefore the solutions have to be collaborative.
Nere ustez, demokraziak sekulako gabezia dauka, baldin eta herritarrak komunitate politikotik desatxikituta balin badaude edo desbinkulatuta balin badaude, lotu gabe balin badaude. Etorkizuna Eraikiz da herrigintzarako estrategia bat. Sistema demokratikoan sakontzeko estrategia bat. herritarrekin komunikazioa mantenduz, herrigintza egiteko modu bat, eredu bat. Lankidetzan oinarrituta dagoena, baina estrategia bat.
Change is a constant. Change always happens. That's what makes life. But I think what we are going through now is a different change for two reasons. One is the magnitude. It is fundamental. Things are changing very drastically and very fast. But also what we are seeing is the change is structural, meaning the structure of how we do things is changing, right? And I'll give you an example. The best example is climate change. Once the climate changes, then agriculture has to change, then water has to change, then cities have to change. And that means that's the fundamental structural issue. And it is not simply climate change. There are other things happening. There are things happening with technology. Right? And it comes very slowly, but suddenly you find that your phone, your computer is making your decisions, right? Because artificial intelligence is. I don't know when was the last time people used a paper map. The nature of work is changing. How we work, where we work, what does work mean? How does work interact with life? All of these changes are fundamental. Probably the most disturbing change to me is the relationship with democracy. And I hope better things will come out of it. But as we are empowered individually, the idea of collective action through democracy is itself changing.
En el momento que te suben a la oficina y te dicen, Merche, tiene la posibilidad de que te quedes de responsable y que puedas guiar a otras trabajadoras, se me pone la piel de gallina.
Y aquí estamos, trabajando. Lo que me ha supuesto, pues ganas de vivir porque tenía pocas, la verdad. Que me ha venido bien además. Estoy animado.
I think experiments like this, ideas like this, not just here, but all across the world, are increasingly more important. As I have been saying, democracy needs, how we do democracy, needs a new paradigm, needs an upgrade. Right? It's like we change our phone after a few years, we need to change the way we do democracy. And this, I think, is one of those ways to do it. Many places are trying to do it, right? By trying to do it, I mean finding out how does collaborative really work. When democracy, again, if you think about history, it was, okay, I will give everyone a voice. I will give them a vote, and once in 4 years they will come and vote. And I will hear what they are saying, and then I will do what I do. Now people are saying, I don't just want vote, I want voice. Right? I need to be heard. And that's the next step. But there's a step ahead of this, which you here are at the forefront of, which is that people are saying, it's not just that I want a vote, it's not just that I want voice. I want to be part of the action.
Veo que me gustaría cuando salgo de aquí con un buen oficio, ¿sabes? Y encontraría un trabajo, ojalá encuentre un trabajo y así trabajando y ayudar a la familia y todo, ¿sabes?
Yo quiero que otras mujeres puedan ser ayudadas como me ayudaron a mí. Lo bueno aprendido nunca se olvida.
Azpimarratuko nuken lehenengo gauza da Etorkizuna Eraikiz posible izan dela.
In a way, it's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. Big ideas always start small. Big ideas will only work if they work in small. So what you're doing in your province is not small. It's one piece of a mosaic, right? That grand painting that is going to come across is by different people doing these experiments in different places, and it all comes together. Wow, we have something new. And that is really exciting. Right? That is exciting because now the citizen can feel that governance is what they do, not what someone does to them. Right? And more importantly, it is important because now we can unleash the power of individuals to help in implementation. Right? This distinction, people live lives and government does implementation, or government does governance and people just listen. That is being blurred by such experiments. What needs to happen, I think, is we keep trying, we learn new ways, but we also learn from each other. I think what's very important is for the rest of the world to see what you are doing, for you to see what others are doing, because in that process we will all learn from each other and hopefully come to a better democracy.